Trump han holdt sin indsættelsestale, der vågnede jeg op cirka 3:30 om morgenen, badede i sved. Det gjorde jeg faktisk også her i nat på grund af den tale, selv sammen med Trump holdt på Quantico marinebase i går. Og det der foregår i løsningerne, det kan ikke nytte noget, vi tænker tilbage.
Ja, vi har samlet.
Lad os kigge på, hvad det
and get people, let's say, have a stronger mindset of cybersecurity instead of only having stronger products. Let's see, this one's not working. Let's see if we can get this one to work. Otherwise, I have to run back and forth, and I don't want to do that. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this one to work. Boom, boom, boom. Try one more time. So, I'm David Jacoby. I'm not even allowed to have it. I'm David Jacoby. Been working as an ethical hacker for 30 years. And I run multiple companies and done different kind of security stuff in my life. And I've learned something during those 30 years. Because I remember being a kid, and even my parents told me, David, maybe you should start thinking about getting a real job. And that really hit me, because I did something I really loved. I really loved what I was doing. And someone else told me, like, maybe you should stop doing whatever that kind of stuff with the computer. I don't know how many of you can relate to that, like not being maybe the most popular person in school, not being good at sports, but you like science, you like computers. You're nodding, right? Maybe you can relate to that feeling. But something happened, right? Something happened in time, and suddenly we can fill a room with hundreds of people talking about security and hacking and programming and AI and all that kind of stuff. What happened during that time? What was the thing that actually changed an entire industry, an entire society, basically an entire world, to first point the fingers and criminalize hackers, to now have a $1 billion industry where you have a problem finding talented people in hacking? What happened? Because this happened in a very short time. I don't know, is this one working? Yes, it is. You just have to need it. Because we were digital explorers at that time. And one thing that was really important at that time was knowledge. Knowledge was not something that you could take for granted. Just spending time in front of your computer, trying to figure things out, even trying to find a person who could answer your questions was difficult. Knowledge became basically a currency for all the ethical hackers out there, for all the nerds out there. That was a currency. We traded knowledge with each other. We're not doing that today. We take knowledge for granted. That's why I'm so happy and so humble that we collected and assembled several hundreds of people here today. We will actually share knowledge with each other. And I want you to take the opportunity to actually talk to the people next to you. Because in this room, there's so much knowledge. Do not take that for granted. But okay, we were digital explorers at that time. This one is not working. Okay. But I had this view of security, right? Something I've spent all my life working with. But what is it? Have you ever thought about that word, security? Computer security. What does that mean? What does that particular mean? Information security. How many of you actually work with security every single day? Raise your hand. Okay. Everyone should raise your hand. Everyone should raise your hand because you are working with security, because you are a user of a system. You have access to stuff that's important. So you should raise your hand. This is what went wrong in the industry. That we point fingers to the IT department and say, it's their problem. It's not really their problem, it's our problem. And this is me. I love talking about encryption, about hacking, about vulnerabilities, about firewalls, about AI, about all these kind of crazy stuff. But the problem is that when I talk about cybersecurity, this is the response that I want to have when talking about security. This is not what I'm getting. Well, if I can put up a mirror here, you would look probably something like this. You're like, is it really that fun? Is it really that sexy? You're not selling it to us, really. Because when I do talk about security more seriously, this is kind of the response that I'm actually getting. People don't care. How many of you know that you should not have the same password everywhere? This is my point. Everyone should raise their hand. How many actually have different passwords exactly everywhere? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 5,000 liars in this room. Okay, that's perfect. But another problem is that cybersecurity has always been a cost. How many SMBs do you think can offer a good firewall? Buy a pen test, run a SOC. Security is a luxury. It's a luxury product. Just think about if a fire alarm or a bicycle helmet cost 1,000 Danish kroner. Would you even buy one? Most likely not. So cybersecurity is a cost. But we do have extremely good product. The problem is that the way we implement the product is kind of bad. Like, look at this picture. Look closely on this picture and see what's happening. The cyber criminal took what they wanted, right? But the person did everything right. They locked the bike in the bike stand with the perfect lock. Everything's happy. But there was a little problem. What they actually achieved is they locked the front wheel to the bike stand. The rest of the device was fully unprotected. And this is exactly what we're doing with our security products today. We solve a problem, but we do not solve the problem with our products. And that is one of the paradoxes that we have in the cybersecurity industry. And we as an industry, we need to start talking about where the attacks are actually coming from. Because our companies feel like that guy. Is it the phishing email? Is it the on-prem server? Is it the cloud environment? Is it our API keys? Is it the problem with the firewall? Is it our supply chain? Is it bad lack of encryption? Is it our backups? Where is the attackers actually abusing the system? What do we have to fix to actually become secure in our environment? I could stand here all day, talk about how we have to think differently when we implement AI in our products, in our environments, in our companies. But then we go back and we look at our infrastructure, and all our users have so much sugar as our passwords. Coconut 12, or whatever kind of passwords we have. And then we talk about self-driving cars and automotive problems. This is a problem, right? And if we do not talk about what product we need to use and service and how to implement those, like multi-factor authentication, it sucks. It doesn't work. Does not work. Isn't it crazy? How many uses Microsoft Teams? Raise your hand. When was the last time you logged into Microsoft with your Microsoft account when you open up Teams and you sat in a conference meeting? Or would you just, boom, log in instead? And that's the account that has multi-factor authentication. So what are we doing? We need to talk about how to implement products in a proper way to actually make security good. If this person has actually found a lock that was suitable for the gate that they're trying to lock, it would have actually better security, because now they have absolutely no security. And that's something that we really have to fix. It's super annoying that I have to go here to switch slides. But okay, so what happens? This is our industry. This is how my view of security is that the way we communicate about security, the way we talk about security is wrong. We have to change the narrative when it comes to cybersecurity. Otherwise, the end result is this. Okay. Hacking is easy, isn't it? It's just 4 steps. You have to find a target. Easy. You have to hack that target. Also easy. Because we don't patch our system, so we have the same password everywhere. Easy. Then you have to abuse that system somehow. Maybe infect it with ransomware, or steal the data, or somehow abuse it. After you abuse it, what do? You sell it to someone else who also want to abuse the system, do whatever they're doing. Maybe they would install a DDoS botnet or they want to do some other criminal activity. Easy, right? But what's the target? Sir, what's your name?
Brian?
Brian, what's the target? What are we trying to protect in our environment? What's the target? We want to hack a target? What's the target?
I think the target is to
It's a difficult question, isn't it? Yeah.
Business data.
Say again?
Business data.
Business data. Could be business data. This is a question we should be able to answer like this. This is the thing that we're trying to protect. Because this is obviously the thing that the hackers want to hack. They want to hack a cloud environment or business data or maybe whatever. My point of view, what a target is, for at least for a cyber criminal, you know what that is? It's you, Brian, and everyone else in this room. You're the target. Why are you the target and not the systems? Why do I say that you are the target and not the systems?
Easy hacking.
Easy hacking! Yeah, but you also have access to the data that I want. It's easier to hack you than hack all these systems that you already have access to. That's why I say you are the target, because you have stored passwords in your browser. You have the session tokens that I want. You have the access that I need as a hacker. Most of the ransomware attacks that we see, the technology or the technique that you're using to hack into our companies is stolen VPN accounts owned by us. So if we don't fix our problem, if we don't take that responsibility on ourselves, if we don't take cybersecurity personal, then this is super easy, right? So we have to understand that we are actually the targets here. It's not the system, it's not the data, because when they want to have access to us, because we have access to the data. But how do they do it? How do they do it? What's that magical thing that hackers do that we apparently can't figure out how to fix it? We have an industry with billion-dollar money and tons of smart people, and somehow we read in the news every single day about hacked systems. How do they do it? Anyone know?
Human engineering?
Say again?
Human engineering?
Human engineering, social engineering, absolutely. That's one of the ways. Again, if we cannot answer this question extremely fast and with confidence, how are we going to choose a product, a solution, a service, something that helps us build security if we don't understand how they do it? We need to understand how they do it, what they're after, how our systems work, how they can manipulate the system to actually fix it. Sometimes it's not even a product at all. Maybe it's just bad configuration. Maybe it's just sloppy user access on the system. And how do you fix that? Because hackers are extremely organized. They're also extremely aggressive. They know what they want. And they're extremely talented. And I'm not going to say that the industry is lacking this, but I think we have to be more organized, more aggressive, and also more talented. As I said, I strongly believe that everyone in this room is the biggest defense that we have in our organization. It's everybody in this room. So we have to be more organized, you have to become more aggressive, and you have to be better at doing basic cybersecurity hygiene. And also, what is the price of hacking? We value things in money. Danish kroner, Swedish kroner, euros, dollars. But what about the worth? Not the money, the worth. Have you ever thought about this question? How much, if I want to buy you, Brian, my friend, my best friend, you get 1,000 Danish kroner for your little identity. Yeah. You sell it? Why not? 1,000 Danish kroner, that's at least a few beers. Yeah.
stuff in my name.
They can take mortgages and do a lot of bad stuff in your name. So you get 10,000 Danish kroner. No? It's 100,000. 100,000 Danish kroner. No? What about you, sir? What's your name?
Bilal.
Bilal?
Bilal.
200,000.
You can say 2 million maybe.
2 million Danish kroner? That's like that's the entire, that's just 2 trillion in Swedish money. 2 million Danish kroner and you would sell your digital identity.
We talk about it then.
We will at least talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you understand how silly this conversation is? Have you ever secured your digital identity as if it was worth 2 million kroner? Or do you log in with Coconut 12 as your password? Right? It's a silly question. Like we have to start talking about our world. Like what can happen if someone gets our access? Because when you think about it, how much do you think someone would pay for a digital identity? Nothing. Around 30 to 50 euros. And that's actually a really high number. Because you could buy a database with billions of accounts. No, as you don't even buy it, it's for free on the dark web. You want to buy something. You're one row in that document, in that database. You're one row in that. That's you. That's how important you are. You're not as important as you think. From a hacker point of view, but from your organization, you're the most important value that we have. What about our connected lives? How many of you have something cool connected in your house? Do you have, Brian, sorry about you're sitting really well.
Yes, thank you, no problem.
Do you have any IoT products? Something, what do you have? Something
Camera.
sexy.
Camera?
Camera?
Yeah.
In the bedroom?
No. Outside the house.
Outside the house, you're filming strangers.
Yes.
Scary.
Yeah.
Creepy. More creepy than if you would have it in the bedroom. Just saying. Yeah, that's crazy. So cameras. What about you, sir?
Lots of IoT devices.
What? Refrigerator?
Speakers.
Speakers?
What else?
What else?
Yeah,
Tell me.
Everything is connected.
Does anyone have something really stupid that they want to brag about? Speakers is not that. Yeah, sir. A dishwasher? Why? Why, sir?
When my phone was playing, when it washes the dishes, I say, oh.
Nice. At one conference, a person said, I have my showering thing connected to the Wi-Fi because I want to see how much water I'm using. I'm kind of smart though. I don't know. But we connect our things. I was part of a TV show called Hacked. I don't know if it was here in Denmark, but we were filming this TV show and we were able to hack Swedish companies live on TV. But we also hacked an individual. This guy. We hacked this guy. His name is called Johan, and he has connected his entire house to his home assistant server. So he can control his window blinds, his jacuzzi, his doorbell, his everything. Everything is connected to his house. The problem is that the guy has 3 firewalls. 3 firewalls. Let me tell you something. So in this TV show, we also have the possibility to hack Telenor. It's fun to speak at this conference. But this guy was more difficult to hack than Telenor. It's kind of crazy. 3 firewalls, but he made one sloppy mistake. He had a bad password in one of his access points, and on his LDAP server, I'm not going to go into technical detail, but we hacked the LDAP server, and we could create our own accounts everywhere in the system, and luckily we were able to do something. But this was extremely, extremely difficult. So we were sitting up late, and we were 4 hackers. 2 other hackers went to bed. They just said, screw it. We're not doing it. This is too difficult. So me and Jeannie, which was the other hacker, we were like, okay, it's the middle of the night. We have no idea what's happening. We're sending commands to the house. We don't know what's happening. Maybe we're putting a light bulb up or something, or I don't know what we're doing, right? So the camera guy went to bed, the sound technician went to bed, so me, Ginny, and the director was there, and the next thing that you're going to see is filmed with his mobile phone. So we went there in the middle of the night, and we just like, please, 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 let it work. Let's see what happened. And this is actually what happened. That's my fists going completely bananas on the screen. And SVT give me so much shit for being happy. They're like, David, this is a serious program. This is serious. Don't. This is, the feeling, it was almost like perverted. It was crazy when we were able to open that garage port. You just hear the garage door click, and it goes. And we were laughing. It's all fun and games, right? The problem is that he's sleeping in his house with his 2 kids and his wife. And the house is connected to the garage. And that door is not locked. It's only the garage port that's locked. So we could go into the house when his family is there, take the car keys, take his wallets, whatever you want to do. The day after, he had no idea that we were there. Because when we triggered the garage port that opened, his alarm didn't went off. He had no idea that we was there. Why I'm telling you this story is that we have to understand that cybersecurity now affects our digital world, our analog world. And this is a bit crazy that hacking now affects us in our analog world. It's not just a digital problem anymore, it's a societal problem. We have to think about how this actually ended up. How did we end up in this world? Because the Stone Age, it lasted 2.5 million years, roughly. We were innovative, we were creative. Brian, what did we invent during the Stone Age? What did we invent during the Stone Age?
Yeah, that
The blueberry, I don't know.
we need to not to put in what we call any.
Did you go to school?
We should not put any IoT on the
Correct.
on the
I strongly agree. Sorry for joking so much with you. But we did invent things. We were innovative, we were creative, right? And the Bronze Age, 2,000 years. We were innovative, creative, we did a lot of things. The Iron Age, only 800 years. So it gets much shorter, right? Then the Industrial Revolution, 200 years. And that was actually 3 revolutions added together. And the digital revolution, how long have we had this? How long have we had the digital evolution? The world that we live in right now.
15, 20 years?
15, 20? 30? 40? 50? Someone says 50? 100? I would also agree something around 20 years. And think about that number. Think about that number, 20 years, roughly. We are the first generation that ever touches a keyboard. Isn't that crazy? We're that generation. Our parents never knew what internet and the keyboard was. We're that generation. So we, at the same time as we're trying to figure things out and learning about this digital world, we are teaching. And I have a very bold statement to say, which is there's no such thing as an IT technician or an IT expert. An IT expert does not exist because we have not had the time to accumulate knowledge between generations to become experts on something that we've only had for 20 years. That doesn't mean that we are not extremely talented at our jobs, because we are. But we just have to be humble about where we are in the timeline. Remember the Wright brothers when they jumped on the cliff and they tried to jump off the cliff and tried to fly that plane? And they kept crashing? That's where we are with IT. We learn the science of IT. But we're not as good as we can be. But we're getting better. We're getting much better. But we just have to be humble about where we are in the timeline. And we have created digital assets, digital systems for everything that we do in life. Oh, I went one step too much. We created all these systems, so now we do dating online. We shop online. We consume knowledge online. My kids doesn't even know how to read a book. They look at TikTok and YouTube. And I'm not saying this is wrong, I'm just saying that's the way they do it. We do very social things online. We also have a social impact online, like how we vote for presidents and so on. It's a digital system. Or you can't really be sick today, or you have to do everything through an app. Even the sexual stuff. I remember being a kid, teenager. There was so much imagination in my head. I remember collecting like my friends from school, and I was like, dude, I know where the treasure is. It was like a crazy version of Pokemon Go, or like geocaching. And we went out to the forest in Sweden, like in the forest. And do you know what we looked for? Dirty magazines. In Sweden it's called Skogspår. And they were so exciting. My kids don't do that. I have teenagers at home, they don't do that. Something happened. And I think all of these things have one thing in common. One thing in common for all these things that we just created. And that's availability. I want to date now. I want to shop now. I want to learn something now. I want everything now. And our brains, with our Homo sapiens brains, we're not meant for this world. Because then we install an app on the phone because we need to talk to a shrink. We install a digital app on the phone to talk to a virtual shrink. This is the world that we live in. And I asked you in the beginning, why do we actually do cybersecurity? In the 1950s, when we started to do transistor radios, we started to work with communication. We could send data across a long distance. And then we figured out, oh, this is not good. We need to add security. We need to add encryption. So now everyone can listen to this. And then we have the First World War, the Second World War, and we started to work with technology somehow. And now suddenly, poof, many years later, after we invented all these amazing things, which allows us to watch movies online, which we can work from home, we can do all these crazy things online. We did all these amazing things. And I ask you today a really serious question. Do you trust the internet? No. So we do not trust the world that we live in, because our world that we live in is based on technology. And this is important. We do not trust the world that we live in. Why we go to work every single day should be to regain that trust of digital systems. It's not about stopping hackers, it's about regaining that trust. So we finally can start working with technology in the same way as we do with physical things. Because I have another very bold statement to say, and that is, if we sold physical things in the same way as we sell IT, people would die. If you bought a car, and the car dealership says, congratulations to your new car. Now you need to buy a seatbelt, an airbag, blinkers, a brake. It sounds weird buying a car without safety. It's like buying a computer without security, and that's what we do. The way we do security is a little bit bad, because there's a few things that we have to think of that we're not doing right, and that is how we talk about passwords. We should stop talking about passwords and talk about authentication, because that's actually what we're doing. We're authenticating. We're not throwing passwords everywhere. Cloud data. Have you ever tried migrating from one cloud provider to another cloud provider? How you store data is important. Another thing is device data. How we store data. How much do you think these devices has changed in the past 30 years? Nothing. They're thinner, they're better in many ways, but they work in the same way. When was the last time you opened up a terminal prompt and actually wrote commands on the machine? Of course, there's always some people, but most of our users, they only use the computer for one thing, which is browsing. That's the only thing that we use about. Imagine that you didn't have a web browser on your computer. What would you do?
Perl.
Say again?
Perl.
Yeah, there's always some hacking done. And the way we implement things. How many of you have been told how to use multi-factor authentication? So you have to log out as well from the systems that you use multi-factor authentication on. Or we just skip that part. Right? That's important. Another thing is that a lot of you also have password policies, right? A password policy really is good, right? But is this a good password? Because the passwords that we tell our users to use should have a capital letter, numbers, and special characters. So we do it exactly in that order. The capital letter is always first. We base it on a word. Then we have the digits, which is 2 or 4 digits. If you do more than 2 or 4 digits, it's always a sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And afterwards, we put this stupid exclamation mark. I don't know why. It's always there, at the end. Always. Right? But I wanted to show you some stuff, at least, before I get kicked off stage. And what I want to show you is some of the things that hackers actually do to break into systems. And what I'm going to do now is fully remote, and you'll see everything that I'm doing. I'm doing stuff on my phone, right? Boom, boom. What just happened here is that a PDF file just opened on my computer, and this cable that was connected to my computer is a normal USB-C cable, but it's also a wireless keyboard with Wi-Fi. So by pre-programming the phone to send commands to this, I open up a malicious file that was also stored on this phone, on this cable, and this actually allowed me to gain access to the computer. So everything that I type here is actually happening on my computer, because this screen that you're seeing now is a server somewhere else in Sweden. So my computer connected to my server in Sweden gave the hacker access to my computer to do whatever they want. And what is that do whatever they want? Well, the first thing that you can do is steal that information. Very easy, because all our metadata is stored on the computer, like address books and bookmarks and stuff like that. That might sound silly, but a bookmark can contain passwords. So now I know that 428 email addresses exist on this computer. I can use those emails to send the phishing emails and so on, right? Just information. Cookies. Where are the cookies stored? We accept them all the time. You don't? No! The thing is, we talk about cookies in the browser, but there's so many other cookies that's super interesting from a hacker point of view. And that is all the application cookies, like Teams, Slack, Discord, and so on. They use cookies as well. And by extracting these cookies, this is the golden ticket that's stored on the computer. If I steal this golden ticket and move it to your computer, Brian, you will log in as me. This is why it's so important to log out from important stuff when you go home for the day. Log out from these systems. The other stuff that I want to show is on macOS, every single thing that you store on the computer is there. And you can extract that extremely easily. So here we just extracted 160 passwords in clear text. The problem is that it's encrypted by a database, and you have to crack that password. The problem is that the password that you want to crack is located in the file itself. Someone at Apple has to be fired for this. Exactly. So you can just do, here we go, 3, 2, 1, boom. Here's the password for this machine. With that password, I can unlock every single password that's been stored on the machine, even the passwords in your browser, in clear text. And I guess you've been talking about phishing during the day. Right? Phishing, scary. But what about application phishing? When you hack a computer, you can tell every single installed application on the screen where it says, I have to enter your password to, wait in a second. That was me. I can become any application that I want. I'm triggering this. I'm telling BankID, which is Swedish version of NemID, to give me a pop-up saying, please enter your password to continue, because then there's a software update. That's also phishing. It's not through an email, it's not through a link, it's through an application on your computer. Whatever I type here, I steal on the computer. The last thing that I want to show you guys is this.
Is that a fast thing, David?
Yes.
This is like telling your children to log out. Yes, in a minute, because you know
I can get your help, and then you'll see it. Choose, I have Google Authenticator here. If
Yeah.
you can just choose any of these codes,
Okay,
just click it.
this one.
Oh, is it 853354?
Yes.
Yes. So you're stealing MFA codes directly from your phone. This is how easy it is. So I want to say one more thing. This is so, protect the devices and protect the ecosystem. Your Microsoft account, your Apple ID, your Google account. Because this is what I'm abusing. It's not only the device, it's also your ecosystem. If I take my phone and throw it down the toilet, I can just buy a new phone and be up and running within 1 hour, because all my settings is stored in the ecosystem. We're not securing our ecosystems. And this is what I'm abusing here. This is a feature of Apple that they want to share information between my phone and my computer. And as a hacker, I can take full advantage of that. So remember to hack yourself. Remember that you are the entry point for hackers, so secure your own identity. Sorry for taking a little bit more time than I should, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching Indiavision. Please subscribe to keep updated on any new videos that we release, and give us a thumbs up with your comments if you've liked this video.